excited for this. This feels like such a Sophie Showhet video. Should I do this in a British accent? No, I don't think so. That would be awful. Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, kind of an idea that I had this morning, but I recently realized I'm coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the first time I got a brand deal. I've had this channel for, I want to say like 5 years-ish, but I've been posting consistently for about 4 years. It took me about 2 years to kind of get to the point. I think around 1,500 subscribers was when I first kind of connected with brands. 2 falls ago, I want to say, was the first time I ever did a sponsored video. It was with a brand that I'm going to talk about in a second because I still work with them. So I wanted to do a 2-part series. Today's video is going to be kind of a reflection on some of the best and worst collab experiences I've had, because some of the contracts have expired. Reflecting on some of my favorite brands to work with, as well as some experiences that haven't been amazing, whether it's their fault or mine. And then I think I want to do a second video after this one, kind of just like a Q&A about like what I've learned in 2 years of doing brand deals, whether it's sponsorships or just PR or affiliate programs. Brand deals for me is kind of just this like broader category. I think most people think of sponsorships when they hear the word brand deal, but within that I would loop in like affiliate programs, which aren't sponsorships, but it's making commission off of driving sales to the company. So hopefully these 2 videos turn out well and I don't get in trouble. Thankfully, I haven't had too many bad experiences. The bad experiences I've had, they've never actually gotten to like the brand deal stage. Most of the time I like suss out the brand pretty quickly and I'm like, leave. I don't regret any of them, but today I thought it'd be fun to just kind of, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Brands, if you're watching, I hope you enjoy it too. Today's dew fairy of the day is the Ice Princessa. Thank you so much for having the notification bell on. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and without further ado,
I will snitch. I will snitch.
I have my notes written down on my laptop, so if you see me looking down, that is why. But I'll start with the best experiences. So the first ever sponsored video I ever did was with 𝓵𝓵𝓪𝓸, and they are a brand I still work with today. So whether you've been with me for those 2 years or you joined the channel in 2020, I really love working with them. Not only is it something that I wholeheartedly believe in, the 𝓵𝓵𝓪𝓸 app has become a part of how I online shop, and I use it every time I do online shop, but the team is absolutely amazing and they've just always been a pleasure to work with. They're always very accommodating whenever I need to be like, hey, can we push this one till next month or next week, whatever, which is very nice to me. That's always a priority. I don't think a lot of brands are super accommodating on time schedules, and I understand that. I would say the number one thing working with them has really taught me is to not be afraid to ask for higher rates as your audience grows. So obviously they were the first brand deal I ever got, and I guess I'll share the number for that first ever video. I got paid $150 for that, which is actually pretty good. I don't remember how many subscribers I had at the time, but I would say that's a pretty proportional rate. But obviously they've been with me since the start of when I started doing sponsored videos, and over time as we work together, my audience has also been increasing. So I would say working with them has taught me the importance of standing up for yourself and being able to kind of negotiate a higher rate proportional to your audience increasing and not feel guilty about that. Like I used to be like, oh, I can't, because I worked with them for so long, I can't like ask for more. But that's a lesson that I think extends beyond like the YouTube sphere. Advocating for yourself in terms of wages and rates is really important in the regular workspace anyways. I would say probably the most difficult brand to work with, but not in terms of like I don't like working with them, but it's just the most effort out of all brand deals, would be Skillshare. And that's mostly because of how I go about doing the Skillshare stuff. So obviously I have worked on 2 different classes with them and made my own classes on Skillshare. Making my classes wasn't actually incentivized by them. They didn't say like, hey, we want you to make 2 classes as part of the brand deal. But when I first started working with them, I really liked the platform. I really liked how the classes worked, and I thought it was a really good way to kind of get out information. And then the 2 classes that I made on there were kind of topics that I didn't necessarily think would fit the best in videos because they were a little bit more business oriented, but I thought they would be a perfect fit for that medium. Plus I figured a really fun way of going about it, especially because I do like class recommendations a month, would be to kind of put in a little extra work and bring my own stuff to the platform as well. But I have really loved working with them, and I've almost worked with them, I want to say almost every month this year. So they've been a really consistent supporter of the channel. I'm very thankful to them for that. Another one of the best experiences has been with Alter Ego, and they haven't ever sponsored me. I've never done a video with them, but I am an affiliate with them, and I don't join affiliate programs very often. I generally prefer to just do sponsorships over affiliate programs, but I really love their palettes and I figured it'd be a good fit. This is a brand that has cared for me as a creator as well as a person. I'm filming this in the end of September, and over the last month as I've kind of moved through the grieving process after losing my favorite person in the world, Kim from Alter Ego has reached out to me consistently to just check up on me, and in so few words that says so much to me. So even though I think I've only been using them for less than a year, because I think I got the Alter Ego Goddess palette sometime in the end of last year. They have been very lovely, so probably one of my favorite brands to date. I'm gonna list off a couple indie brands as well, which is pretty interesting to me that they're generally just really lovely to work with or just connect with. You would think that like some bigger brands with more formal PR departments or even whole dedicated positions to that would be the most fun to connect with, but with indie brands, a lot of the time it's the owners or the people who are in charge of product development reaching out to you and really sharing their inspiration with you. So I feel like you get a lot more of a connection with the products themselves. It's the owners not just doing like influencer and creator reach outs, but they're also the ones running the social media pages. And I feel like in that respect, I really love following indie makeup brands' Instagram pages because you can really see the passion for the products, because sometimes the people writing the captions are the ones who were part of the product development themselves. That was a long roundabout way of me saying Odenzai, amazing team. Odenzai for me gets the award of most flexible contract. So the indie brand spotlight video I did with them was a sponsored video, like I did that in partnership with them, but I literally was allowed to say whatever I wanted because they let me write the contract myself. I think I got a comment one time saying like, I love seeing all these reviews of Odenzai, but I feel like a lot of them have been sponsored, so I don't really know what to look for, which I think is a totally fair and valid concern. In my experience working with them, they were very flexible and really just wanted the creators to say their honest opinions on the products. They're not the type of brand who will like get offended if you give a negative review and then just pull you off the PR list forever. I guess in that respect, they really stand behind the products that they create. So Odenzai has been really nice to work with as well. They are one of the few affiliate programs I'm a part of, as well as Alter Ego. But as far as partnerships with them, they're a brand that never really gave me talking points or anything. They really just wanted me to say whatever came to mind, which I really value. I would have asked for that in a contract had they not just said that immediately, like you can say whatever you want. I would have tried to put it in the contract somewhere. And then for their partnerships, something I've noticed is that they really want creators to like just showcase the products themselves and show them in action rather than like listing off a bunch of benefits from the products. The products are supposed to speak for themselves in terms of how they perform. So Odenzai gets the award of most chill brand to work with. Throwing in Kaleidos in here, technically haven't done a brand deal with them because they don't really do sponsored videos. I've never seen. I don't think they've had an affiliate program, so the only thing we've ever exchanged are emails and PR, but they've been really lovely to work with. The team is really, really great and very passionate about the artistic vision behind the products. I feel like that's really reflected in the packaging and like the photo shoots, the promos for the products. They definitely do really work to support the indie creators as well, but I think they do cast a pretty broad net with the PR, and I've seen them getting a lot of love from bigger creators as well. I think Raw Beauty Christie was one of the first people to feature them on her channel, and I think that was really, really good for them. So I would say the thing I learned from them is that I really love when brands ask before they send stuff. Before they release things, Kaleidos team always emails me to ask like, hey, do you want to receive this collection? And I always say yes because they're always beautiful releases and they're always things I would be interested in. But I love that they ask first. ColourPop is not going to be in this video because they don't fall into the worst category, but ColourPop is an example of a brand that doesn't really ask before sending PR, which I think is most brands, honestly. That's probably just because they have so many people on their PR list that it would be really hard to like send out a bunch of emails and then respond to each of them and like file who wants the collection. Also because they release so many things at a time, it would be like they'd have to do that twice a week. So they're an example of a brand that doesn't ask before sending things, whereas Kaleidos and Alter Ego does this as well. They always ask beforehand like, hey, this is a new release that's coming out in maybe the next couple weeks or the next month or so. Would you be interested in receiving it? No pressure on your end. Next up is Celsius. So they're a brand I've never done a paid thing with before. I'm part of their ambassador program, which usually ambassador things are paid, but I don't get paid. They just send me a case of Celsius drinks every month, which is cool because I would have bought them anyways, and I would be posting about them anyways on my energy drink series on Instagram stories. They are in the best category of this video because they've always been really supportive of my fitness goals. One of the questions they asked me when I first applied to their ambassador program was, what are your fitness goals? What do you use Celsius for, etc., just to kind of get a feel for you as a person. But my fitness goal that I shared with them was to get stronger and to view health and fitness as a stronger body, not a smaller one. And that's something that's sometimes very hard to find in the fitness community, but I think we've seen a lot of other brands, especially Gymshark, embracing a more inclusive vision of what fitness can be. So they have definitely been one of my best experiences. And it's cool, they are one of my unpaid relationships, but they've still always been very supportive, which you sometimes don't really get from brands that you don't have that intimate of a tie with. Ana Luisa has always been super lovely to work with. I would say the biggest thing I learned from them is transparency in contracts, and again, like not being afraid to ask for edits to things. So I've done a couple of videos with them this year. They've always been very accommodating to my requests. Anytime I've needed to request extra time on a video, or the most recent thing I did with them, I had to delay the video by 2 weeks because of obviously the loss that I had and just processing everything, and no questions asked. They put you as a person first. Last in the best category is Innisfree. They were my first ever brand event. The number one thing I learned from that was that I don't like brand events because I am awkward in person. Mostly a joke, but I'm really glad that I had that experience because it kind of helped me realize like maybe I don't really like brand parties very much. It was still a good experience to have though. I did make one friend there. That experience is in the best category because it really taught me like how I kind of view myself, especially in the LA space. Like I live there, but I'm not an LA creator. I don't know how active I want to be in terms of like pursuing brand deals. Why am I talking with my hands so much? And then even though some of that experience was terrifying in the moment, I think I'm really glad that it happened because it taught me a lot. Getting into the worst category, for these, I don't know if I can really name names.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
The first one actually never even made it onto the channel. It was with an eyelash serum brand. I was using the serum for about a month and I did actually see my lashes grow, so I was like, okay, yes, I'll do the video for you guys. The reason this falls into a worse category is because they requested I want to say 5 rounds of edits. So I would like send them the finished product. They would be like, yeah, can you fix this? And then I would fix it and I would send it back and they would be like, yes, now can you fix this? In round 4 of the edits, they asked me to like go back to a previous version and I was like, I'm done. And when I kind of tried to stand up for myself, this was before I had representation, I was like, this is the last round of edits I'm willing to do. Like, I'm sorry, but you've asked me to change things and then revert it back to how it was, and I can't anymore. I have midterms this week. No. They kind of got short with me. They're like, we're not going to pay you unless it's perfect. And I was like, okay, then don't. At that point, I was just kind of like, I've sunk enough time into this. Still, what I learned from that situation was that at a certain point, if you've sunk enough time into something and it's not working out, you have to kind of be okay with not seeing it through all the way. And I think that's something that's very out of my personality. I always like to finish things and I can be very stubborn in that respect, whether it's like a brand deal like this or even like relationships. This was kind of a good pointer in helping me learn when to get out and when to be like, hey, it's okay to just call it quits. You're not really quitting, you're just preserving your sanity. Next was one that was fairly recent, and this was probably the biggest brand I've ever worked with. I was very excited to get this opportunity, so like don't get me wrong, it was awesome to have this, but unfortunately I learned that bigger brands sometimes can be a pain to work with. I think it definitely does depend on the brand, but it was one of the like slowest turnover rates I ever had in terms of getting the content approved so you could post it. They had my unlisted video link for I want to say like 6 days without responding, and then I had like my manager poke and be like, hey, can you give us feedback? So I think because of this longer turnover rate, which usually should take no more than 1 to 2 business days, I didn't post for like a week and a half, which is kind of what I've been doing anyways, so oops. But yeah, mostly I just kind of blame the worst part of this experience on the bureaucratic process rather than the brand itself. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I learned from that was just like try and get things done as early as possible so you don't have to like upload a week late. Those are the only 2 like worst experiences that I went through with and actually created the content for. Probably 2 of the worst like brand interactions in general I've had. One, a subscription box that's more lifestyle than it is beauty, so it didn't fully fit my niche anyways. I am trying to branch out into kind of more lifestyle based content just by sharing like student life and things. So they do sponsor a lot of unboxing, but what they do in terms of sponsored videos is very one size fits all. They weren't really willing to adapt what they wanted in terms of content to the creators that they were pitching. I now know why so many people do unboxings is because they offer quite the bag. But I honestly don't think I would ever do a subscription box sponsorship just because I feel like I don't really believe in subscription boxes for makeup, at least. For other things, maybe like snacks, I love that. But makeup subscription boxes, that you're basically paying for products that you didn't even want in the first place. So while I can appreciate that like BoxyCharm is pretty good value for its money in terms of the like purchase value of the products that you're getting in the box every month exceed the amount that you pay for the subscription, if it's not products that you wanted in the first place, I don't necessarily think that it's worth it. But for some people, they might enjoy subscription boxes as like a fun way to try out new things and like get exposed to different brands. So for those people, I think that's an awesome thing. And then shout out to all the gaming apps. I don't know what it is about gaming apps, but like they can't take no for an answer. I would say probably the root of the worst experiences I've had have come from like not really knowing how to advocate for myself. Not in terms of like the content itself, but things with like rates or things with turnover time, like, or like payment schedules. Sometimes brands will just like straight up not pay you for like 90 days afterwards. So that is pretty much all I had in my notes to talk about today, but that was my reflection on some of the best and worst brand deal slash working with brands experiences I've had over the past 2 years. If you have any questions for the kind of Q&A style video, I might do like a get ready with me style Q&A. I don't know, but go ahead and drop those down below. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and if you made it to the very end of this video, you get the bonus meme, my curtain bangs, and I wish you farewell. Goodbye.
I can't believe that there are people that would do something like this.
I just want to cry right now.
It's so sick and twisted.